So, welcome back to the Sunbeam build. So, I've taken the engine back out, and in there you can see how their poor attempt at putting a floor in, and you can see the big screws they just held everything in with. So, it's a real shoddy job there. So, I cleaned that up. It's surprising that when you take the steering box out, so the steering box was on the left-hand side, but it's got all the same fittings over the right-hand side for a right-hand steering box. So that's one of the good things about these little Sunbeams is that you can go left to right. They have the steering column hole come out there, so that's fine. Same on that side. So you can do that. Now on the V6, I've worked out that that's what I need to cut out of the front subframe. And here you can see where they used to have the V8 engine mountings on, and they used to have the steering rack coming across the front there. So on both sides, so you can see where they put the brackets on the steering rack. And that's where they had the engine mountings when they had the V8 on it, in it. So there's been a lot of crap going on in this, and you can see they've got that big piece of steel bar across there. That's apparently their gearbox mount they used to have. But today we're looking at the disc brake side and updating the disc brakes. Now, to change it over to a rack and pinion, you need to have the arm out the front. So this arm here needs to be out the front. Now, this is an original disc brake off the car, and a lot of people have tried to put disc brakes off Mustangs and things like that on there. Now, the later Mustangs or the later Falcons had on their stub axles had bigger ball joints in them, and the bigger ball joints up here were bigger. But the early Falcons, like the XP Falcon, I thought it was pretty close on the taper, and it works out it's not that far off it. So they're actually smaller on the XP Falcon disc brakes. So I've got two XP Falcon, which is XP is 1965. So some XMs had them, but XP definitely had disc brakes on the Fairmont, I think it was, or the Futura. And they had disc brake front end on them. Now, they ran a Girling disc brake on them. Now, there's a few differences in it. Now, the distance between the ball joints, where the ball joints go in, on the Falcon one is not that much bigger. So it's a little bit bigger on the length, but it's not that much bigger. So if we put that one up there, hang on, I'll just try and do this. I'll lift this one over. I'll lift this on. See. So if we put, come on, try and do this one hand. So if we hold it there, you can see so we're pretty close there, and that's the difference in it. So in actual fact, I'm just sorry about the camera work. I'm not very good at this one-handed stuff with lifting stuff heavy. But so the distance between the ball joints here is around about half an inch, 13 mil difference in it. And I had a look at it, and it turns out that see if I can do it this way. There. All right. So you can see it's a little bit more. So probably about 17 mil, or probably a little bit over 5/8 of an inch difference in it. But that's not a bad thing, because what it does is, if you're racing the car, it's all that will lower the car a little bit, so your car will be lowered. The other thing is that this here takes normal girling disc calipers on it, so you can put a normal girling caliper. So it's this holes here are 3¼ inches, and these two holes here on the Falcon are 3½. Now, what's 3¼ inches? I just went and measured. I have an XF Falcon, a 19 XE XF Falcon diff out there, and the rear brake calipers are exactly 3¼ measuring, trying to measure the center bolt. So the rear brake caliper off a later 84 model Falcon appears to be the same caliper that'll fit. So that may be a thing, because the brake is actually in a drum inside the disc. So that's something that I will be looking at later on to see if that is that. But on these here, they take girling calipers. Now, I believe that the early up to HQ Holden also had girling calipers on them that have got, I think, 3½ inches bolt space to bolt space. So I've got to measure that properly and check that out properly yet. But I'm just going to take this to an engineering shop and get them to taper that, move that taper out a little bit. And then on both of these, and then these will fit. And because I swap them left and right, so this one here was the left one, it's on the right side now. The steering is in the front for the steering rack. So as you can see, it goes to full lock there. There's no steering stops on it yet. They do have a steering stop on that one there, and I think it will go down and it will hit that steering stop there. So I'm pretty sure that we're going to get on the steering stop when it's fully down. So that should be all right. On these here, that's the we have the adjusters there for our camber, so that's no problem. Then up the top there we have our normal shin packs and that for doing the caster camber in here. So there's lots of options to change this around, but there's not a lot of information online about doing these. So I'll keep you up to date on this, how it goes. I do have a set of calipers, but they're out in my in a shipping container I've got locked up outside. So we'll check on that later. But I've got a fair bit to do. I still got to bring everything into the workshop. And I think we're on the right track here. There's no manual with how to convert a Sunbeam Alpine to a V8 with a rack and pinion steering. You've got to work it out as you go. But if I can help someone do this by going through all this and using what I know about cars, maybe it's a good blog for someone to learn how the engine goes in. Um, you wouldn't believe it. I checked the GM Ecotech engine V6, and the ports are pretty close. So I need to get a set of extractors for it, and I think I'm going to get a set of Ecotech V6 extractors because they do hug close to the engine, and if I can get them on, cut the plates off and cut myself out some plates and weld them in really close to the engine, I think I'm going to be all right. There's not that much difference between these ports and the Ecotech V6. It's only millimeters. So I think that's what I'm going to do is I can get brand new Chevy Holden Ecotech V6 extractors really cheap here in Australia, probably less than $400. And I can just cut the plates off, make my own plates. And again, they have oval ports. So it's almost mirror to what this is. Anyhow, if you stayed with me on this video, a lot of chatting, not much doing, but hopefully it helps you. If you like what I'm doing and you want to follow along, just subscribe if you want, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.